I will call to order the regular meeting of Rose Valley Borough Council for the month of June 2026. We'll do the Pledge of Allegiance to start the meeting. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, first up is approval of minutes. So the minutes are in everyone's packet and were circulated electronically by the mayor earlier. Are there any, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions on the minutes or corrections? All in favor of approving the minutes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0. Thank you. That takes us to solicitor's appointment. So again, our longtime dear solicitor, Guy Smith, passed away a little over a month ago, and our alternate solicitor has been filling his shoes in the meantime, but we should move Mr. Scott from where he technically sits now, which is alternate solicitor, to be our solicitor, and then appoint a replacement for Bob. So there are 2 letters in your packet. One is the proposal from Bob Scott to serve as our regular solicitor, and the other is from Carl Ewald to serve as our alternate or conflict solicitor. Can we do these together, or should we do them one at a time?
You can do them together unless somebody objects to one or the other.
I don't see
Not
any.
hearing an objection. I can do them together.
Okay. So is there a motion to appoint Bob Scott, our solicitor, and Carl Ewald, our alternate solicitor, on the terms laid out in their letters?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? All in favor? That carries 5-0 as well.
Thank you.
Welcome.
That takes us to public comment. Ron, you're just in time. Do you have any public comment? No? Okay. Cindy, do you have public comment? Do you have any public comment you want to make?
We're in public comment on the agenda.
We're at the part of the agenda where if you have something to say to the board, you're welcome to do so.
Yeah, I just wanted to hear what was happening about the Prices Lane.
Okay. That's later on the agenda?
It's early on.
Yeah, it's coming up.
I'm sorry, my hearing is just...
That's okay. We're going to talk about that in a couple of minutes.
Perfect.
Yep. All right. Hearing no other public comment, we'll move to environment and EAC. In Leonard's absence, I will read Leonard's report to the board. So, again. So here's Leonard's report for the June EAC meeting. As you may, for the MS4, Municipal Separate Stormwater Sewer System Project, which is a requirement of our stormwater permit, if you remember, the EAC unanimously recommended the council some months ago hiring Forrester Landscape Studio to prepare a design plan and bid documentation for the proposed stream stabilization project on Vernon Run. The proposed formal contract with Forrester is now awaiting review and approval by our solicitor, mayor, and me, Borough Council President. So that project is moving along. Composting bins for Rose Valley Borough residents. Thanks to a gift to the borough from the Ronald and Audrey Winklevoss Charitable Fund, the EAC announces the availability of highly discounted composting bins for homeowners of the borough. Specifically, residents are invited to apply to the borough for a home composting bin at a cost of $25. The bins actually retail for $60, and we'll be sending out an e-blast about that soon. The EAC and borough also gratefully acknowledge an additional gift of $1,000 from the Winklevoss Charitable Fund for environmental improvements in the borough, and the EAC will be considering and providing council with recommendations on how best to use this gift. The EAC does currently have a voting member vacancy, so Borough residents interested in serving as a voting member of the EAC are asked to get in touch with Leonard Busby at either his email, lbusby5@gmail.com, or texting him at 215-385-2643. The EAC also has an update on beech leaf disease. So an email blast from the EAC about this new threat to native trees in the borough is in the process of being prepared. The disease has already spread to the borough, and it is likely to attack the leaves of all mature beech trees. The disease is usually fatal to the trees in a few years or less active protective measures, and those protective measures are either an injection into the trunk of the tree that's toxic to the nematodes that attack the leaf buds, or application of phosphate to the ground around the base of the tree. And those treatments are going to have to be continued sporadically for the rest of the tree, for the rest of the life of the tree. So treatment in advance of infection is recommended for any beech trees that residents want to preserve. The EAC is also preparing a resolution consistent with the resolutions adopted by Media, Swarthmore, Lansdowne, and Nether Providence in opposition to the proposed development of a LNG liquefaction plant in Eddystone. So they will be sending that to us for consideration in July. There is a stewardship day scheduled for Chadwick Preserve. Jim Audley and the EAC are planning a stewardship day in Chadwick Preserve on June 27th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And an email blast with details and instructions for signing up will be forthcoming. Traymore open space management issues. So a first meeting to discuss the terms and implementation of Traymore's open space management plan took place on May 27th. The plan was negotiated a couple of decades ago by the borough as part of its approval of the overall Traymore development, and the open space management plan was then filed with Delaware County Recorder of Deeds as a permanent obligation unless changed with the borough's consent. So the EAC is working through that as well. And that's Leonard's report for the environment and EAC section of our agenda. Any questions? All right, that takes us to highways, insurance, and technology.
Sure. So first up, we're talking about the Long Point Lane road work. Received a letter from Matt Hootman, the borough engineer, with the final payment application from Construction Management Services LLC. The invoice is for $192,196.29. The original contract amount was $179,774. The increase is primarily the result of additional paving quantities that were needed. As they milled the road, they saw that there were areas that were particularly thin and the stone base underneath was exposed. So they needed to do some additional work there and raise the thickness of the main asphalt by, it looks like about a ½ inch. After reviewing, even with that change, the borough still realized a net savings of $59,789 by performing the trench restoration and road resurfacing at Long Point with the aqua money. And Matt Hootman's recommendation is that the project was completed in a workmanlike fashion in accordance with the project specifications, and he recommends payment to Construction Masters Services in the amount of $192,196.29. And as a Long Point resident, I will say it looks nice. They did good work. It was annoying for about 4 days, but they worked with us to get us in and out, and I thought they managed the job well.
Good.
I drove through it and thought it looked like they did a good job as well, so that's great. It's nice to get it done at a savings to the borough residents, so
right,
that's super. Would you like to make the motion?
I will move that council approve payment of the invoice of $192,196.29.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? All in favor? Carries 5-0. Next.
The next issue is the Prices Lane sight line. Looking left, I understand that there was a mirror that had been installed by the residents of Prices Lane, and that was damaged in an accident this past week. I know that the borough doesn't maintain those mirrors. Cheryl, are you maybe a little more clear on what the ask is of the borough? 'Cause
Yeah, I'm sorry, I
not
should
so
have
much.
included you in
No,
all
that-
of this, because I looked
was
into
copied
it,
on
and
a lot, but-
I was looking into it. The borough has no responsibility or history of providing mirrors. Moreover, it's a PennDOT road, and PennDOT does not, I found the PennDOT regulation that says that they will not even hear requests since 2018 to allow mirrors. And if mirrors are up and they go down, they say that they should not be replaced. So they're not going to help. In lieu of a mirror, I know that Bill actually has been working for years to help improve the sight line, including many years ago at a cost to the borough of about $25,000, the wall on what was Tim Plummer's house was moved back to improve the sight line. And then, Bill, the specifics of the other foliage that you are suggesting would be an additional improvement?
Well, the guy who lives on the corner there let his foliage grow up pretty tall, too tall. So everybody had to rely on the mirror. When the mirror got knocked over by the FedEx truck, it's completely on the ground in pieces. The residents, like Cindy, at the cocktail party, Cindy said, "We have a crisis on Prices Lane. We need action." So I went over and cut back the bushes to 18 inches and asked the residents, is that good enough? Can you see now? And I think the consensus was from a number of, I think Cindy McPherson and Monica Gagliardi all felt like, no, it's too hot. So we went back and I took them out. And so there aren't, and I talked to Damon about replacing them with a little, what do you call it? And it's some kind of red carpet or some carpet
Ground
junipers that only grow 4 to 6 inches tall.
Okay, like
And
a
he said-
ground cover.
Yeah. Yeah, little junipers, they get to be 4 to 6 feet wide, but they're only 6 inches tall. So I picked up some of them and planted them, which made Damon happy. And some periwinkle. He already had periwinkle in there, so that's where these little plants do not obstruct the view at all. You can look past them and see the grass for all the way down to the road. So we did spend $25,000 taking down Tim Plummer's wall and moving it back, and Matt Hoopman designed it to meet the requirements for a road where you're going 35 miles an hour to have time to see the cars coming up. It is a little tricky because they kind of appear around the corner of the stone, but so it's not a great sideline, but it meets the requirements. And anyway, so that's where we are. We have, looking left now is clear, and all those obstructing little shrubs are down.
Is Prices Lane dedicated to the borough?
It is a borough road, oddly
So-
enough.
So my suggestion would be that we ask Matt Hoopman to go out and measure the site distances to see if we might meet the warrants for some sort of traffic control there. Because I think that's really, I think that we should have our borough engineer go out and measure the sight lines. Because if there still isn't enough sight distance, we can ask PennDOT to put stop signs in on Rose Valley Road at that spot, or do some other sort of traffic control.
So the engineer will take a look at it.
I mean, my understanding, what Bill said, is it's appropriate sight lines, but we're still really nervous
Yeah.
pulling out even.
And you have the cars that come around the curve and over the hump, so I
Especially
think,
if you're in a shorter car and you're
Yeah.
in a shorter curve. person.
So PennDOT has rules against what you can and can't do on a state road, and some of those rules depend on how far you can see. So let's have the engineer figure out how far you can really see.
Excellent.
Can I ask, this wall that we're talking about, who owns that?
The resident.
Okay.
We moved it years ago. It was years ago, right?
Well,
It was
not,
10 years ago,
yeah,
maybe?
Tim
Wasn't that
Plummer
long
allowed
ago,
us
I
to
remember.
move it
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just trying to get clear who owns what and what.
Yeah, and the
Is it-
wall's not the problem. It used to be a problem. The wall is no longer the problem.
Well, it is, as it's not, the wall is not a problem for the legal sight line. But the wall, if I look down the wall, the traffic comes from over here. So it appears. And there, okay, now I can see it. And now you have, time to react.
And this isn't an easement for the?
No, not an easement. And Matt did come out and look at it.
I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't follow regulations, but in my mind, the wall is a problem. If the wall weren't there, I would be able to see a car.
That's true, but you'd have to take down all the wall. There, you'd have to take huge amounts of wall down. And we already technically we meet the requirements. And now it's a 30-mile-an-hour road instead of 35s. It's 30 miles an hour now, speed limit, instead of 35.
So let's count how many times a car goes 30 miles an hour there.
We do. We have a traffic
Do
counter.
we?
Cindy, you have?
We have.
We really were hopeful and optimistic when that wall was getting moved, and we understand that was a huge cost. But the bottom line, I don't know what was the result of you all counting cars, but our lived experience every day, this is harrowingly dangerous. When Bill came and took out the vegetation, it's true that helped a lot. And we are, unfortunately, the topography there, it's hard to fix it all, but the wall just needed to be moved more than it was. I think if it was moved the minimum, that's not sufficient. And I'm concerned that the engineering is based off of things that just aren't the reality of what's happening. The people are driving very, very, very fast on that road. And it's true that we were really relying on that mirror. And I understand, that that's not sufficient, but it is imperative that the borough guarantees these proper sightlines. And they're just not, even if technically the minimum was done based on regulation, it's just not accurate.
Yeah. So let's have the engineer look at it and see what he thinks we can do. And then let's work with Leanne Kruger's office to see
Okay.
what they
can I
can
add
do.
too, we did submit a petition to PennDOT as well already on behalf of the residents did. And then we have a petition here just in writing about what our requests are from the residents of Rose Valley. I only have one copy. It's signed.
Is it for us or for PennDOT?
It's for
Yeah,
the borough.
we'll take it. Can you send us a copy of what you submitted to PennDOT?
I think we all have a case, and we can probably just...
That'd be perfect,
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
if we can give that to
It's just the
Leanne.
standard
Yeah.
form that's on there.
But
Yeah.
that's perfect though, because Leanne can then follow up on that as well.
Okay.
And I think, the sight line is one thing, but what I think we're saying we'd like to happen is a more comprehensive study of the situation and think outside the box a little more about what could be done. Maybe something like school Rose Valley has, or School Lane, you go in one way, come out another. There's somebody who knows more than I do, like really look at it and think if there's a different solution, but.
That's exactly why I want the engineer to look at it, because that's who would do that. Okay.
Everybody has.
Right, and Tim Plummer would say, he always turns right. It's too dangerous to look to the right, look to the left, and then turn left, because even with the mirror, he says he turns right because then you only have to change one lane, you only look to the left, if it's clear, you go. I think Kelly Caulfield was trying to turn left, and she got hit. But luckily, she was in a big SUV, so she was okay. But it's very dangerous to turn
I
left.
stopped traffic the other day. I got almost completely sandwiched by both sides coming out of there since the mirror's been down. I have teenage kids driving, teenage kids coming and going. It's just,
Yeah.
I cannot stress, this is like a real emergency as well. We feel there is a tremendous urgency that this get acted on immediately.
Well, we did act immediately to take down the bushes.
Vegetation, but we
And so you
need
now have the
to
sight lines that
further.
are technically legal. But I would suggest
But
you
the
turn right and
legality
have
is
your
not
kids
our
turn right.
concern. Our concern is our safety and our kids' safety. And if the borough, I mean, I feel like the borough is also vulnerable if this isn't addressed and something does happen.
It's PennDOT's road. I mean, we're gonna get the engineer out there as soon as he can to see what we can do. At the end of the day, it's PennDOT's road.
And additionally, even if things went as fast as possible, it probably won't be as fast as you like. I mean, there will be a report, it will be considered, there might be a suggestion, it might be, it's either legal as can't, but it's going to take some time. And in the meantime, I mean, I do town watch, and I know what it's like coming out of there. I never turn left.
I never turn left.
And I appreciate that, and I understand that it's a PennDOT road, but we are pleading to the borough for any assistance and that they make this a priority.
It's a priority.
Whatever they can do to help.
Yep.
Do we have a count on how many delivery drivers are coming out of there? Because that's something that's even in the last 5 years is just a whole different use of that intersection.
No.
There's probably 30 delivery.
We can't do anything about that. I don't think we'd see it changing.
But
Unless you get all your neighbors to stop ordering on Amazon.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
If a mirror gets installed on property that doesn't belong to PennDOT, do they have any say? Are they allowed to say you can't put up a mirror?
I think they would say, I'm assuming PennDOT would say you can't do that.
If it's on private property? You can.
So where it was in the right-of-way. It would have to be moved back out of the right-of-way onto Thunderbird Lodge property.
Is it Borough property?
Or Thunderbird Lodge?
It's Thunderbird Lodge.
Well, if it's Thunderbird Lodge, I already surveyed the board, and we all realize that that's a dangerous corner, and we don't care if the mirror goes back up. We want people to live so they can come to the museum.
Well, that would be something that you all would take on your own.
Pardon?
That would be something that you would undertake on your
We
own.
understand.
So,
Does PennDOT have any control on a mirror put
I
outside the
don't
right-of-way?
think so, no. It's outside the right of way.
And the people that were speaking with the borough, it hasn't been communicated to all places, but the thing about the mirror has been clear. But there's stuff that needs to happen beyond
Yeah.
the mirror. And we
But if you
understand
want-
that we take that on ourselves if we.
we're looking at the things that might happen more quickly. I mean, we'll get the engineer as soon as
Right.
possible, and from that, other things will happen that may take time. Taking down a wall, moving, all of those things would take time. Finding a different engineering solution, that would take more time too.
Right.
So I'm just trying to think of, anything that helps you in the short run.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay. That takes us to, that's it for highways?
That's it.
All right. Library, Catherine?
No report this month.
All right. Public safety, Cheryl?
You have the state police report in the packet. There were a total of 16 incidents reported to the state police last month. That's higher than usual. Of those, 4 of them were requests for services. There basically are false alarms and the like. There was two motor vehicle accidents. One motor vehicle accident, and then there were 2 domestic calls, a C officer call and 4 welfare checks. There was notably 1 burglary or attempted burglary that was reported, and there was 1 theft, which is also unusual for the borough. On the fire report, the usual amount. There was 1 automatic fire alarm and 1 dwelling investigation at 32 Prices Lane. On the ambulance service, the Emergency Medical Services Authority, they're moving forward. trying to get the articles of incorporation completely edited. And there was a change that's being considered in the last meeting that has to do with the structure of the authority and its relationship to nonprofits and municipal bodies. It was a very legal detail, and I think that it's pushed back the timetable several weeks, so I think it will be in July that all of the municipalities will be asked to give feedback on the articles. And that's it.
Okay.
Oh, and they are going to change the name, Bill.
Oh, do they have a new name?
They do not, they are going to change the name.
Good.
I just, they didn't say exactly how that would happen, you know, website, some things. But they
Because
said,
the police are saying.
they said they would.
All right, that takes us to planning. Shannon?
Yep. I have 3 items tonight. One is the path update and payments, added scope to the path, and then an Eagle project. So you've all seen the path is coming along actually pretty quickly. I was away for a couple of weeks, I think nothing before, and then I came back and
But yeah,
it's amazing.
So fast.
It was so fast. You know, once they get going, I guess, right? So after the walkway construction is completed, then the Promax fence comes in. That's the contractor for that, and they will start the installation. Should be finished in July, but that depends on the materials being delivered. Replacement landscaping, the trees and the shrubs will be installed for the most part in the fall. We've talked about some exceptions to that. So that's kind of the projected timeframe for the next steps. The grant allows for reimbursements during the project itself, not at the end. And so I would like to get that process started on the 3 grants we have. They're listed on your agenda. So it would be all of the Delco round 2, half of the round 4, and all of the Pennsylvania State Greenways one, which is $100,000. So, and I assume I can make a motion for all 3 at the same time. I would like to make a motion that council approve the submittal of the payment requests from Delco Greenways Round 2 grant for up to the full amount of $75,980. From the Delco Greenways Round 4 grant up to half of the $150,000, which would be $75,000, and from the PA,
Department of Community and Economic Development.
there you go, Greenways grant for up to the full $100,000 amount. That's the motion.
Is there a second? Okay. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Carries 5-0.
Okay. So then we have the property, the Dan Gruen and Brace Bascope have said they would only need 1 replacement tree, a bur oak. They want it planted at the same time as the Thomas's hedge. Remember we said a lot of this would be done in the fall, but not the Thomas's. They're going to water their hedge to make sure that goes well. Same thing on this timing. This bur oak would be now instead of the fall. They've got other landscape work going on, so they're going to be able to take care of the watering and make sure that it lasts. So McCusker Landscaping is installing the Thomas's hedge at a cost of $11,989. McCusker said that it can purchase and install a substantial, I don't know what that exactly means, but a substantial bur oak at the cost of $650 at prevailing wage rates at the same time as the hedges, so that the combined items are a total of $12,630, still below the $13,200 amount. So no formal bid or quotations are required because it's below that amount. And so I'd like to make the second motion, the council award the added scope to plant the 1 bur oak on the Gruen Bascope property to McCusker Landscaping.
Is there a second?
Second.
So we're essentially expanding the scope of the previously awarded bid to McCusker by
Yeah,
$650.
For the $650.
Okay. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Carries 5-0 as well.
And then the final thing is the path from Woodward to just past Buttonwood Way now doesn't go anywhere and doesn't continue on down the road. So we've had complaints about a path that just kind of stops and goes nowhere else. So there's a suggestion that in order to make progress on another section there, to extend that we grant permission for the Eagle Scouts to do a project to install 45 feet of crushed
Well,
stone.
they already have approval to install the 45 feet of
To
crushed stone.
extend it,
Yeah, extend it. Yeah, a little
to
further.
extend that path to the small wooden bridge opposite hedgerow. So this actually requires taking down 4 trees. Bill, do you want to explain exactly where this is? Because
Yeah, I have a picture of it. Let's see if I can find it.
I thought they were
it's-
already doing that,
So they're doing a section of it?
from the entrance to Traymore to the wooden bridge across from Hedgerow.
Yeah, so the scouts have like cleaned it up. They're gonna
Yeah.
do the first 45 feet like the northern side
Okay.
with crushed stone. But after that, it can go further back in towards the higher ground because there's a big swale, a lot of water is coming down Rose Valley Road, and it's entering that little creek that comes down from Traymore. So they have to stay out of the swale. So they're gonna put a little higher into the woods, but there are 4 trees. One of them's a linden, and the other 3 are hemlocks. 2 of them are like pretty small, old hemlocks.
So is this the path going to the Old Mill Lane?
So there's a path, if you're pulling out of Traymore and you're gonna make a right, there's currently, it's not even, we had wood chipped a path there maybe 6-7 years ago,
A little bridge.
and a little bridge.
And then there's a path that I walk all the
Yeah.
time that takes me to Old Mill Lane.
Yes.
But
so
we're not going up the
We're
bridge.
not going that far.
I'll
We're
show
just
you a
going
little
to the
picture.
bridge.
Okay.
yeah, that's right.
But yes, I think it's a great idea.
All the wood chips have washed away.
Public Works
And so to
Department
prevent that
takes
from
care of
happening again, we're gonna move that a
So
little
there's
further up
Traymore
there.
Lane, there's the bridge,
Yeah.
and these are the 4 trees.
Okay.
A double hemlock, one of these hemlocks is dead,
Get rid of it.
and that's the linden. The linden's like a pretty big tree, but the hemlocks are just very skinny, very tall, and they
So
only have
is that
branches
part of
that
the
come-
Eagle project for them to take down some really tall trees?
No, that's,
But if we
So
take
that's-
down,
Furnace with.
That's the motion, is to
Carney.
authorize taking these trees down by Carney for $3,500 to enable the Eagle Scout project to go forward.
Aha, okay. I didn't gather that. I
here's
got
the,
it.
there are the trees.
$3,500 for the 4
Absolutely.
trees.
And Carney said, that's basically the cost of the crane for a day.
Yeah.
He's giving us a discount. There's the trees.
Yes. Maybe
So-
the Eagle Scouts would like to, apprentice or, learn from him.
Yeah, just give him a chainsaw for.
Yeah.
that's not a
That's a-
public
that's a
safety
great
issue,
idea.
public safety.
You can get your chains.
There's
It's
that
a-
linden, and there are the skinny
Yeah.
hemlocks.
It's good living.
So
Keeps
is
Mr.
there a
Carney.
motion?
Yeah, so I have one written here.
Okay.
I make a motion that council grant permission for the Eagle project to extend the path from Traymore Lane to the Wooden Bridge and approve $3,500 from the Borough Road Improvement Fund for Carney Tree Company to remove the 4 trees.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions?
Just a question, is this path in a borough-owned right-of-way?
It's on borough-owned property,
Borough property?
right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's part of the open space that came out of the Traymore development.
Got it.
All right. Any other comments or questions? All in favor? Carries 5-0.
That's it
Yeah.
for me.
One resident asked me, they know the answer, how much borough money has been spent on this pathway project? My sense is that by far the majority of it was grant money, but
So far the spend has been for engineering, which we paid most of. But the actual construction is being funded by grant money.
100%.
And
Construction, yeah.
we just made the motions tonight to start drawing on that grant funding. All right, takes us to finances. You are left all alone again, Lynn.
Yeah.
It's just you. Floor is yours.
So Joe's out and Chris is out, so I'm going to try and give their reports as well. So first, for the status of funds, Chris reviewed the QuickBook against the bank statement, and all accounts have been reconciled. And we can go over the balances. So for general fund checking, $22,221.70. General fund savings, $210,001.82. Petty cash, $100. Capital reserve fund, $128,374.96. Highway aid fund, $5,115.04. And road improvement fund, $323,160.79, for a total of $688,974.31. So that's the status of funds. And the income report. So we have a total of $22,472.90. And the majority of our income for May has been from permits and real estate transfer tax. And bills for approval. So in your packet, we have bills for approval. For the general fund, there's nothing out of the ordinary. We have fairly routine expenses that we experience every month. From the general fund, we're asking for bills for approval for $20,597.54. And you can make a motion after I go over the other fund. From the road improvement fund, we have some unusual, non-routine expenses. We're paying for the Long Point Lane resurfacing, and that is $192,196.26. And then we have a street lighting bill, which is routine, and that's $598. And so I ask that someone make a motion for approval to pay for both the bills from the general fund and bills from the road improvement fund.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
The Long Point Lane repaving, we actually authorized that bill earlier, so the motion is really just to pay the PICO bills for the road improvement fund. Any comments or questions on the bills? All in favor of paying our bills? Anybody opposed? All right, we're going to pay our bills, 5-0. Is that it for finance? All right, that takes us to manager's report. Mayor's report.
I just want to remind everyone, the annual 4th of July parade is coming up. We go from Woodward Road in front of the train station. We leave sharply at 2 o'clock and go down Woodward to Possum Hollow, all the way to Pool Lane. I might note that so far we have been walking outside of Rose Valley Borough. That's okay. Then we get to Pool Lane and walk down to the pool.
Stop singing them.
Raise the flag with the Boy Scouts doing a ceremony, and we'll have someone sing the national anthem. Maybe Leanne will lead us in that. So a short little ceremony and then a little party at the pool. But not a food, just not a picnic, just a party.
And it tends to be on the hottest day of the year, but it's still fun.
On board again.
Maybe next year we'll walk up the path first and then down.
What about getting the band back together? Remember there used to be a band on the flatbed
Yes.
that played patriotic music?
Who was that?
It's mostly if you can
Who was
find
that?
people who will
play instruments for you. That's-
Yeah, it was a trombone and a trumpet.
Yeah, we had Earl one time, we had Jeannie Stofford.
Yeah,
Jeff
the-
Stofford drove a tractor with a trailer behind it, and these people are trying to play
They're
music.
trying to
while
play
they're going
music
down
and they're turning over their band sheets. It
Very-
was great.
Rose Valley.
Yeah, if
Very
we
Rosa.
had a lot of musicians, I mean, I could put a plea out and see if
I bet there's musicians in the
who would be
woodwork.
willing to walk, be here and come and walk and play.
They are, do you play an
Yeah,
instrument?
'cause
That'd be
the
great.
flatbed truck, talk about liability.
Oh.
That was, it worked, but it was a little hairy, a little hairy.
We only did it twice, and then we
Yeah,
decided, look, this really isn't a good idea.
Right.
Really
Even though it's
love to
all on
mark
other
on
Providence
it.
roads.
That's so.
It's a way to mitigate liability.
Could be worse.
Keep it out of the borough. Make them all sit down when they hit Pool Lane. All right. Any solicitors report?
No, thank you.
All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second? Anyone opposed? All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned.
Has anyone ever opposed adjournment? I wonder.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not done.
Boy, things go